everybody. Welcome
Hi.
to the One Bookshelf lunch break. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. We will be going over One Bookshelf 101, Marketing 101. How many times can I say One Bookshelf? Really appreciate you all for joining us. This is going to be a pretty basic course. We have a lot of tools that we're going to kind of run through. We want to look into streaming a little bit more information essentially with our other marketing ideas like social media and things like that. But this is just a pretty basic course, especially for new publishers, and also a great refresher for our veteran publishers. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So before we get started, we should probably introduce ourselves. My name is Meredith Gerber. I am the DriveThruRPG Century Publisher Relations Representative. That means I take care of the top 100 publishers. And this is...
I'm Adriel Wilson, and I am the One Bookshelf Independent Publishers Representative. I take care of everybody else. If you're a new publisher, I'm the person that you're talking to, and we're both here to help.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. This is great too. So if you're coming in here being like, I want to start a publisher account, you're going to be talking to Adriel most likely, and they will take care of you and help you out. So I also wanted to give a nod to our super awesome tech wizard / moderator, Lysa, who's in the background right now and doing great. And also Jack too. Both are from DM's Guild and they are wonderful. So we will get right into it. Last we talked about setting up a title, which was super fun and awesome. And now we get to talk about the marketing aspect. So one of the things that we want to talk about first that we didn't really touch on is once your title goes live, this is a super fancy drive-through page. Once your title goes live, you are going to be in this lovely section of newest titles since your last visit. So you already have promotion happening right away, which is really, really exciting. And unfortunately, that's not all that we offer. Fortunately, that's not all we offer. Not unfortunately, it's very exciting.
We offer lots of fortunate, awesome things. And one note about that newest title strip is that new publishers, and every publisher on our site really, there is a 2 to 3 new title limit per day. And that is so that everybody gets equal treatment at this strip right here on our front page. And so when I'm looking at your titles and approving them, they'll show up there along with everyone else's.
Yep. And as a reminder, if you submit, it takes 2 to 3 business days for Adriel to get to it, and they will look it over and message you if there's any problems or make it live, which is great. Yep. So your title is live right now. So that's where we're at. So we're going to go over the tools in your Publisher Hub, which you can get to by clicking Publish, and you scroll down and boom. We are signed into what?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, for you folks who do community content, as part of any of the awesome systems that we have on our site, you are used to uploading titles via account, where Meredith is kindly pointing out. So Publish is where all of your publisher account stuff lives. So you don't want to mix those two things up when you're setting up your account details and working on your marketing stuff as well as uploading your titles.
Mm-hmm. And our community content creators do have promotional tools. We will go over that in the future. Hopefully, probably going to do that with Lysa or Jack on that, so we can see the DM's Guild side too. So we have not left you out on the promotions. We will get to you for sure. All right. So one of the things you're going to see is you have all these cool tabs. We're going to be under promotion today. You can see we have a lot of publisher promotion points for One Bookshelf. So what is publisher promotion points? They are free, which is very exciting. So they happen automatically. And we have a handy little formula in our publisher knowledge base, but it is, you get 10 every month, 10 extra for exclusive publishers, And then you get 1 per $10 in sales, which is great from the previous month. So if you're just starting out, you're going to see no publisher promotion points. Those will accrue very quickly, and we absolutely encourage you to use them. And before we jump into what all of these are, one thing wanted to note too on promotion that I completely skipped that's very important is we want to make sure when you have your first title, you want to make sure that you have a logo updated and a website, because this is the one place that we'll be able to do it. So under here, under the publisher account and payment settings specifically.
Just to back up a little.
Go for it, Adriel.
Where Meredith went was under the accounting section
Right
to
here.
publisher account and payment settings. And this is where your logo goes, your physical address, your PayPal email address, all of the critical information about your account is in that tool.
Yep. And it's all the way at the bottom. And also another thing that's in here too, obviously this is Steve, but another thing that's in here too is sales notifications. You can turn those on. You can turn them off. You can say, I don't want to ever know that I've gotten a sale. And that's perfectly fine. We don't judge you for it. Same with promotional emails. So if you are doing featured product messages, we'll talk about that. You can also get an email for that. And then of course too, for the notifications, you can go all the way up to 5-star if you want. You can get 0 notifications. It's completely up to you. Some publishers really, really enjoy being able to see essentially any review they get, even if it's just a star review, that's perfectly fine too. But
one great promotional tool that isn't really a tool, it's all about you, is engagement. So using that notification system to know when someone's reviewed your title is a great opportunity for you to engage with someone who has just purchased it.
Yep, absolutely. And we've touched on that briefly with, if you go to a title, go to a newest title, we'll showcase this from Griffin Games, Fast and Easy Combat for the Realm of the Gateway. Promoting is right down here. You have a discussion tab where customers can talk to you. We highly encourage that you talk to them because they'll have questions like, hey, I'm not sure how this works, or hey, I'm not sure, are you going to have a print on demand? This is the place that's going to happen. And this is where your reviews will happen, which is great.
Yep.
And as a note, publishers cannot review titles. That's very, very important.
As soon as you create a publisher account, you will no longer be able to review titles that you've purchased. And that's another fairness thing for us. And it's important to keep that in mind as you're deciding what direction you want to go with your games.
Absolutely. Yeah. So with all that said, let's get into the actual tools.
Yes, and the logo. We have one more thing. I have one more thing to say.
Oh yes, Adriel does, because Adriel, like I said, deals with a lot of new publishers consistently, so they're going to have a lot of really good tips and tricks. So go ahead, Adriel.
So here's the thing about your logos. Please, please, please note that we have a maximum size limit on logos. And if you're running into an issue uploading your logo, check the size of your image. It needs to be 140 pixels wide and 200 pixels high or less. You can use GIFs, JPEGs, I don't know, PNGs. All 3 of those file formats will work great for your logo, but just keep size in mind.
Yeah.
Thanks, Meredith.
You're welcome. No, please interrupt me with anything that you've experienced, because I have not had your position in years. So it's been a pretty long time. So moving on. And please interrupt me at all if you ever have anything else. So promotions. So report publisher promotion points spent and received. This is just a breakdown of essentially where your publisher promotions are going. How many you've got, did you spend any, how much did you spend? So this is kind of just a little report for you if you wanted to check. Some people don't. All right. The biggest one is submitting a deal of the day. There are a couple rules to submitting a deal of the day. Deal of the day is you put one singular title, and it's digital, so it does not apply to your print. So you put one singular title in there, and it goes into a queue. And the cost will change. It depends on how many people are in the queue, specifically, because the more people in the queue, essentially the longer the wait time is going to be, and the lower the price will be, because it's such a long wait. So you can submit one at a time. Also a note, if it's on sale or it's in a site-wide sale, it's not going to show up. You can't do that, because if you're doing a site-wide sale, like right now we're having we had the Black Friday, we still having it? We're still having it. Black Friday Cyber Monday sale. If your title's at 50% off and your deal of the day goes at 60% off or whatever, the problem with that is going to be that it's going to continue to discount. So it's not going to pay attention to the sale. So that's why we take them out. So make sure that it's a title that you want in the queue. And the queue is based, go ahead. Adriel, please interrupt me, go.
What I was going to say is, with our sales, and this is something that I think is really important for new publishers to know, like we run site-wide sales. And if you opt into those site-wide sales, that is also one, free promotion. But two, it means that you need to not put your titles on sale at the same time we are, or they'll get double discounted, and nobody wants that.
No. So, and we'll go over those tools in a little bit too, because there is a couple caveats of those. But so for the deal of the day, it's really great. It goes on the front page. Do we have a deal of the day today? We do. See, it's right there. And you click it and boom. And you get this nice fancy banner, and it's really awesome. We highly suggest doing it for anyone who, especially if you have a title that's kind of flatlined for a while. Obviously, new titles, we wouldn't suggest putting them on, because if it's trending really well and you're making a lot of sales, we want you to continue to make sales. But submitting a deal of the day for an older title is very, very good. So very happy with that.
Definitely bumps sales. Like I see it all the time. When your title's a deal of the day, you're gonna get more sales, and that gives you more customers in your customer base, which we're also going to talk about soon.
Yes, so many. There's so many. We have so many tools. With deal of the day, how that works though is it is randomized. So you can't, if you email me and say, Meredith, when's my deal of the day? I don't know. Neither does tech, because it's completely random. But it does have weight, but the longer you stay in there, and if you're exclusive with us. If you're not exclusive with us, exclusive publishers will take precedent. But we will send you an email 24 hours before, and we'll say, hey, this is going on tomorrow. And that's when you get to blast social media and actually one of our tools, which I will walk over. And that'll be fantastic. And then at the end of it, you get a nice email. It's like, hey, you made this amount of money on it. Great job. So we do keep in communication. You won't completely not know when it's happening, but we'll get you to do that. So, and you can remove too. If you're like, I want my super cool RPG, and then later you're like, I want my super cool RPG 3rd edition. Actually, you can pull it out, but it does start the queue all over again. So you do lose your place in line in that regard. So pay attention to that for sure.
But do you lose your publisher promotion points, Meredith?
No.
I don't think so either.
I was gonna say, I'm like,
we're gonna double check that, but I don't think you do.
You gave me that look. You gave me that look where I was like, "This is the right answer?" ? So we'll double check. I'm pretty sure it's no. Your points, because you're pulling yourself out of the queue. So in that regard. All right. Any other points on deal of the day, Adriel? Awesome.
Nope.
Okay.
Just that it's awesome.
Let's say you want to run a sale, not a site-wide sale. Let's say you want to run a sale.
On your own titles.
Manage sales on your own titles. So the manage sales tool is pretty self-explanatory. You pick what percentage you want, or sales price if everything's like $1. If you're saying like, I'm having this big dollar sale, you can do that. But you can choose what titles you want, so you don't have to do it where you do the entire thing. But you can do it by titles if you have like a couple, or if you want to do categories, that's fine too. Either or. And then it'll apply to what's on top. And then the selected titles will show here.
So one thing that this tool does not do is generate for you a coupon that gives you, say, a percentage off all of your products. If you would like to do something like that, you reach out to your rep, most likely me, possibly Meredith, and we're happy to set that kind of coupon up for you. Mm-hmm. But this tool gives you so much control over your own sales and your own titles, and it's super useful, especially when you start getting into having more and more titles on our site.
Absolutely. And yeah, you just pick the sales date, pretty self-explanatory, when it ends. As a note, you cannot start day of. So if I wanted to run my sale today, I can't. I have to run it tomorrow. And the reason we have this in place is because we don't want essentially publishers to launch their sale and it shows up in our managed sales page, and then they're like, oh wait, I have to fix this real quick, and then they pull it down and it goes back up. So that's why we give that time frame for you. So if you have any changes or anything like that, then we definitely suggest you prep for that. So we give you that essentially 24 hours to do that, which is great.
I love our safety windows. Like,
yeah,
for me as a person who makes games as well, like, it's really nice to know that with DriveThru, I have that safety window because I am prone to typos.
So am I. So that's perfectly fine. And then the promo text. It is a max of 500 characters. So whatever you want to put in there. And that's kind of like just saying like, hey, like, you know, these titles are $1 till December 22nd. You know, grab these super cool titles. I'm not good at making those up, but you are. And that's what matters most. So,
yep. So, you know what you want to say about your titles.
Oh, yeah. And you can preview it as well. So you can kind of see how it looks. They'll look on our managed sales, which is great. And then save sale. So if you, after it launches, if you have any changes, you have to come talk to us about it because it's already out there and locked in. So we have to do it on the back end. And again, as a safety precaution, just in case. Do you have any other comments about the managed sales?
If you do come to us in the midst of a sale and you need a change, please keep in mind that our tech team is very, very busy. So if your sale is ending within the next day or so, that change may not be able to be made before the sale ends.
Yeah, very good point.
But we will do our absolute best.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, so Adriel touched on this very briefly. Opt in and out of site-wide sales. We give you 3 fun options. Yes, DriveThru may include OneBookShelf. This is us. May include our titles in sales for up to 80% off. Yes, DriveThru may include OneBookShelf or you titles in a sale that is up to 40% off. No, I understand that this choice means that I'll be excluded from sales promotions. Sometimes people want to be excluded, especially like new publishers. Like if you have a singular title and it's only gone for so long, that's fine. And that's completely understandable. We give you that choice. But if you have a bunch of titles, for example, and you want only some, you can exclude those titles.
I love that feature.
Mm-hmm. So you can say, yes, put me up there, but I don't want the following titles or product lines or newly released titles. We added this pretty recently, actually, like a couple months ago, where you can have it where you don't, you do not want to include titles that are like 30 days old, 90 days old, whatever works best for you. And
again,
yeah,
oops.
go. Adriel, I'm talking all this time. Please go.
It gives you a lot of control over your products and where they're featured and how much they're going to cost. And I cannot emphasize this enough. Participating in this free stuff that we're offering you gives you clicks, it gives you views, it gives you downloads, and that's what you need to start building up your following of customers. So like, yeah, these titles rule. So anyway, sorry, tools. Yeah, I meant to say
absolutely.
Tools rule.
Yes.
But yeah,
no,
I love that we can exclude by date, by title, by line. It's just really useful.
Yes. And the other thing that is very important to note is when you do this blanket permission, does the blanket permission the second that you apply it. So, for example, if we're doing a sale and Scott, our awesome, super great marketing expert, comes in and is like, hey, the deadline's December 2nd, and you come to me December 3rd, and you're like, I have just added myself to the blanket permissions. It doesn't apply. So make sure that you check this often. And if you ever want to know where our site-wide sales are, we have a Medium article at medium.com/OneBookShelf. So you're able to look over our sales that we have every year. We do, obviously, you've seen, we do have some site-wide sales that happen randomly. Just depends on how we're feeling and what ideas we have. But definitely check through this and keep that going. So that's super important.
I also just want to shout out to our Medium articles because they are so full of good information. Like, please check out our Medium page, and especially new publishers, check out the articles on pricing. They're very, very good. They're not the topic of this stream, but you're going to want to check them out.
And it's in 3 parts. And so if you love data, and especially if you love data, Scott, our marketing expert, actually crafted these. I know it says that I posted them. I did not write these. I will not take credit for them. But there's a lot of data in there, especially if you're like, oh, is my title too high? Is my title too low? Because you absolutely should be pricing your worth, but you also don't want to price a 1-page PDF at $99. It's not going to go well. So, and if you ever have questions too about pricing, Adriel and I are more than happy to help. And if we aren't sure, we will talk to Scott and he will be happy to look it over. We'll be happy to look it over, whatever that may be. All right. Any other comments, Adriel, on the opt-in, opt-out?
None for me. No.
Opt-in is my style thing. You should always opt in.
Opt in.
Yeah.
Do it. And don't run your sales at the same time that we are running ours. We have a schedule on our publisher knowledge base. So you can find out when our regular site-wide sales are scheduled. So.
And you're always welcome to, if you're like, oh no, I thought it was an opt-in and it's December 3rd, and Meredith, you totally said December 2nd a month ago. That's fine. You can run your own sale alongside. But definitely, like we said, it's so important you check your opt-in options. Like, mark your calendar to do it once a month, just to make sure. Yeah. Set up a calendar reminder.
Great tip.
All right. I'm looking, it's 12:30 and I'm like, we got so many tools left. So we're just running through them. All right. Manage featured product messages. Okay. So featured product messages are messages that show up in, let's see if one's going to generate. One should generate. Let's do Dungeons and Dragons.
This is super exciting for me because this is not a tool that many of my publishers use. And so I don't have a lot of like time with it. So I'm benefiting from this overview as well.
So featured product messages are more expensive publisher promotion points, but they are way more effective than banners. So that's kind of the toss up, because you might look at it and be like, holy cats, that's so many PPP. publisher promotion points. P3. There's so many. And like I said, it's because of you literally are the first thing that people see when they go to a systems filter. So it's very, very good. Pretty self-explanatory too of how to set it up. You pick a title. Come on, manage featured product messages. You create a new featured product message. And in that, you saw there's that like little text box, so you can just put down a couple of things about it. Definitely suggest, I tell this to publishers, don't copy your description, like actually like make a good text box for it. Because usually descriptions are chock full of stuff and you only have so many characters to do it. And it'll also pull whatever cover file you have. So make sure your cover file is up to date too when you were doing this.
Pretend you are writing a tweet and you want to appeal to the most people possible while letting them know what's great about your title. And if you need to make a couple drafts, do it. But like Meredith said, this tool is so great.
Mm-hmm. It is. It really, really is. All right. So now is the fun math part that I personally don't like explaining, but I'm gonna do it. So
You got this.
I gotta do it. So essentially, there are two types of impressions. There's homepage impressions, so the homepage, and then category impressions. Category impressions, what we saw. So when you go to like a rule system filter, that's a category impression, and you can add impressions. You can also set limits too. And once you add the impressions, then it's going to go. So you are going to have this nice list underneath of the featured product messages you want turned on. Sometimes publishers who have a lot of publisher promotion points will just leave them going, and that's perfectly fine. But you can turn them on or turn them off. That's perfectly fine too. And it's important to keep in mind about what is on and off, because those impressions will run very quickly. So definitely pay attention to that. And also, it'll show also the click-through percentage, which is really nice for our data kids that really want to see that, which is good, as well as the page clicks to get to there. So also very awesome. And it's broken down by site. So if you have multiple types of things, if you have a fiction piece, it's on DriveThruFiction, you get to manage that here, which is really, really nice. Yeah. So also, yeah.
Do publish on multiple OneBookShelf sites, you've probably experienced that your back end is the same. But if you haven't, now you know, you can look at information about everything that you're doing in one place.
Yep. Which is really nice. And of course, too, if I was to drive to, look at me. If I was going to log in to DriveThruFiction right now, it would be the same backend, but purple. So yeah, our sites are pretty seamless. So, which is great. Aside from Storyteller's Vault and Dungeons Masters Guild, which is different.
Yeah.
Manage banners. Banners are great. Banners cost, they are cheaper, but they are less effective. And the reason they are less effective, let's see if I can pull one up. Is there one today? Oh, there's one somewhere. So banners show up at the bottom. And so that's why they are cheaper, because they are less effective, because people usually don't scroll down to the bottom. But you still will get some engagement and some impressions from that. So definitely look into tossing up a banner, make it look real cool, and people will kind of see that. And you can make it animated, which is very cool. I've seen that. And that'll direct people to where they need to go. Banners are pretty straightforward. It's uploading the banner, paying the PPP cost, and then also it'll tell you how many publishers are running banners too. So if this number is really high, you probably you might not want to run a banner. If you do, that's completely up to you. I'm not stopping you. But when the numbers are a little bit lower, you probably want to run a banner and take advantage of that. So you're not competing essentially with other people for real estate, as Scott calls it. So, which is really, really good. Yeah.
And another size note, banners also have a size limit. So if you're having trouble uploading your banner, check its physical size, which should be 2,200 pixels wide by 280 pixels tall. And it should again be GIF, PNG, or JPEG. But there's also a file size limit on banners, and that file size limit is 1,024 kilobytes. So first thing to do, if your banners aren't working for you, check those sizes.
Yeah.
And file type.
Yeah, and file type. You try to upload a PSD, you're going to have a bad time. We always, and anytime we have to upload anything, if that's your logo or your cover or your banners or what have you, that always, we will always put exactly what we need from you. So definitely pay attention to that note.
Yep.
Okay. 12:37, trucking along. All right.
Woohoo!
Getting there. Create or edit special discounts. You can make discounts for your customers. And here's a fun note. You can make a discount that you can attach to customer emails, which we will go over soon. The special discount tool is pretty self-explanatory. You pick the title you want, the option. You can either do, you can do the price, so how much you want to have it for. The thing that you want to pay attention to is max uses and effective date and expiration date. Because a lot of people kind of fly through this and be like, why does my coupon work? Make sure that you're checking through on each option, specifically what you're going to do. And then you can have a big old special discount. It'll show you the ID number as well as the discount link, because discount links, which are different from coupon codes are checking out with that code. Discount link is you send it to a customer and you say, here you go. This is normally $20. You're getting it for 10. And they click that link and they go through. And like I said, it's very important for max number of uses because if you don't count for it, people will generate essentially where there's an error and it says that the discount's not available. So,
because they clicked on once and they only had one usage.
Yeah. I also encourage any publisher that makes a discount to test it themselves before sending it out. It's just sign out of everything and try it yourself, because that way you can see if it works for the customer side of things. And yeah, there are times too, if you have a max usage where you say like the customer can only use this one time ever. And if they click that link and then they like leave and then they click it again, it's going to be invalid. So like make sure that you're aware of that. Sometimes you might have to change the max usage or give them a new discount code. So it's completely up to you on how you want to do that. But yeah,
and
pretty
to Meredith's point, always test these things if you can, because it's going to save you a lot of time down the line. You may be like, oh, I just want to get it done. But if you take that minute and test and make sure the link works and make sure that you give people, 2 or 3 uses depending on what's going on, that is going to save you time and headaches, and it's going to save your customers time and headaches. And that's what we want, right? We want everyone having a smooth, wonderful experience so that they buy more of your games.
Yeah, absolutely. So also pretty self-explanatory on what happens, because all this information gets dropped into below, so you can always track your stuff. And also you can see what's redeemed, which is nice. So if you have max uses of 5, you can check to see, hey, this is redeemed. And that's super, super awesome and wonderful.
It looks like we have a question. I'm going to
from Inspire the Barks. That's from Barker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And the question is, let's say that you're a publisher who only uploads new products and clicks the cha-ching button, I really like that, each month. What's the first tool you'd use to cut your teeth on DTRPG marketing, Meredith?
Well, Adriel, I feel like this is more of a question that is for you because you have more experience with this with new publishers. So go ahead.
So I think the first thing that you should do is put yourself in a deal of the day. And here's why. Because I said it earlier, building your customer base internally on DriveThru is so useful, because what you get out of that is the next tool we're going to talk about, which is the customer email tool.
Yep.
That is a group of people who they've bought your title. Some of them have given us permission to send emails on your behalf. And like, it literally makes a huge difference. And I've seen it over and over to send a customer email. And so the first tools you want to use are any tools that are going to get you to that bigger customer base. So again, put yourself in the deal of the day, use banners, use the featured product message if you have enough PPP. And I don't actually know the answer to this question. Can you purchase PPP, Meredith?
You can technically. We don't suggest it because it's free to you at no cost.
Right.
Yeah. And there's also ways to do marketing without having publisher promotion points. So, which I'm going to go over, which is my answer of what you should be doing as a first-time publisher. So, send email to customers is a great tool. Send email to your customers means you get to send an email to your customers. But you get to pick, though, if you have a bunch of products and you only want to write and say, I only want to write to this group, that's fine. You can do that. And this is pretty self-explanatory. So subject and the text. One thing that's really important about this are a couple of things. One, you don't want to send out a lot. We usually suggest 1 to 2 a month. Because customers don't like being bombarded with emails, because they also are getting emails from other publishers as well. So try to keep that to a minimum. You're probably going to say, what should I be writing? You can write to people and say, like we talked about discount. You can include that discount and say, hey, you know what? Like, you bought this thing, like, here's a discount for another thing, just for you. And that's what we're talking about, like where your customer bought a product. So if they bought your first product and you want to give them a discount for your second product, you can do that. We have certain publishers who use this as an update, essentially once a month, where they say, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's coming, which is awesome. You cannot have outside links, much like descriptions, but we do allow for crowdfunding links through us. You have to contact Adriel or myself to send it. But if you have a Kickstarter going on, or an Indiegogo, or a game on tabletop, if you have any of that happening and you want to let your customers know about it, as long as you are digitally fulfilling with us, you do not have to be doing print with us, or if you have like tokens or stuff like that, because that's fine. But if you have to just have that on your Kickstarter that you're fulfilling digitally with us, and we will send 2 emails, one at the top of your crowdfunding and one at the bottom, close to the end. So that's another use for this tool as well. And yeah, so sending an email to your customers is super huge. If you have a new release, also send an email to your customers. And I always tell publishers that, because sometimes publishers don't have you followed. Customers don't have you followed. Publishers might have you followed. I don't know. I don't judge. Customers might not have you followed. So it's important to say, hey, new title's out. Like, here it is. Like, here's the link. You can put in as many DriveThru links as you want, or OneBookShelf links. So if you want to say, hey, here's my second product. Like, also, like, if you haven't checked out, my third product, here it is too. that's really, really good idea to use the customer email tool for.
So you're gonna be thinking to yourself right now, hey, what about images? If I can't include external links, how do I get images into my customer emails? So there are a few sites that we do allow, like image hosting sites like Imager, for example, but we have an even better option. And that option is you can upload any images you want to include in a customer email to one of your products via your edit a title listing page. That image that's uploaded to that product is hosted on our servers, but will not be visible to customers unless you insert it in your product description the same way you would insert it in a customer email.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
go to your edit a title listing page, upload that image, copy the link, and then insert that image in your customer email. So that's even kind of the way we do it. When I'm sending a Kickstarter email for you, I upload your graphics to our servers and then I insert them in your customer email so that there are no issues and your customers get to see the awesome graphics that you made to promote whatever you're promoting in your email.
Absolutely. Do you have any other follow-up comments about sent email to customers?
Yes. There is, can you click on the tool again? Do you mind? So there are a lot of the same like text adjustment tools. Boy, I can't think of words today. You can do a lot in this little box with the tools available to you. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like you can make your text bigger, you can, italicize it. Think about when you get an email, what attracts you to reading that email, and use that knowledge to, create your own awesome emails and, use them to keep in touch with your customers, like Meredith said. And also, please use us for your crowdfunding campaigns. We are super happy to help. And it generally, I see a bump happen because if someone's bought your game on DriveThru, especially if you're running a Kickstarter for like an Ashcan edition that you've put up to try and garner interest and get more feedback, use this tool and use us to help your campaign succeed, because like we want that. We want you to do super well all the time.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's all I had to say about customer email.
Yeah, no, I am a person that if someone sends me just a text document, I will like a header 1, like header 3, like because I am a person who likes that because you like put the most important information large, so it's important.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kickstarters, you can send complimentary copies.
One thing before we move on, Meredith, I'm sorry.
Go on.
We got a question on what's an Ashcan edition. It's a term used in like publishing and in games for a pre-edition. Like I have the Ashcan edition of Velvet Glove. It's not the fully published, like beautiful end product, but it's enough that like I am happy to give the designer money and play their game and see what it can be. So that's sort of what an Ashcan is.
Absolutely.
Okay. Sorry. Go, Meredith.
Awesome. All right. So complimentary copy tool. So you can use this in a number of ways. You can send this to your writing team or your artists if you're giving them comp copies. You can use this for your crowdfunding, which is why, too, we say, hey, you're doing digital fulfillment with us. Awesome. We got you hooked up. So complimentary copy tool, there are 2 different tools. And you'll see here the older version and what it means. So sending a PDF or sending a digital file is super, super simple. It costs no one money, which is great. It's free, and you can use either tool for that. If you're sending a print title, print on demand cards, or print on demand books, there is a difference. This one that we're on currently, you, the publisher, will pay the base print cost plus shipping. If you use the older version, then the customer pays the base cost plus shipping. We have a lot of Kickstarters who do that, who essentially send a voucher, which is great. And you send that voucher all over the customers, and they, on their own time, go ahead and purchase your book. But again, that's
Hey,
that print.
Meredith,
Yeah.
what if I wanted to cover shipping for my customers when I'm fulfilling this campaign?
I'm so sorry, Adriel. You cannot separate the shipping from the base print because that is a lot to ask because everyone's shipping is different. So it's either you pay both base printing plus shipping and or the customer does. So it's either or.
And it's important to know that that base cost is the same for you as it is for us. We are not charging you or taking any percentage of that cost. Nope. We're just offering you the ability to use our tools and work with this printer and like fulfill your Kickstarter simply and easily without charging you for it.
Yes, absolutely. So, which is great. And it's a great tool too. I think that a lot of people focus on this for crowdfunding, but it's a really, really good tool. If you have reviewers you want to send it to, things like that. And
especially now with the lack of conventions in person, you can send people copies of your game and get those reviews that you need using our tools.
Yep. And when you go to the recipients, I can't select a title right now, but when you go to the recipients, it'll give you an option to either put in their emails or you can upload a CSV file that actually generates, if you want to generate from BackerKit, we specifically built it from BackerKit, and you just upload it and we go cool. And then you say, I want to send it to these 50 people. And we're like, awesome, here's how much it's going to cost. And boom, it's done. It's done in 5 steps. So we made that easier for you in that regard, which is great. And you put a little note too, if you're like, hey, here's your stuff. The other nice thing about this too is you can change quantity. So if you have like someone who ordered 2 hardcovers of your RPG as opposed to everyone who else did 1, you can do that separately. That's perfectly fine. And also you can add multiple titles as well too. So if you have the jumpstart and the character tokens and the maps, you can put all of that in there, which is really, really nice. And I really appreciate it. So,
and one of the other awesome things about both of our complimentary copy tools is that your title does not need to be publicly available to use these tools. So if you've run a crowdfunding campaign where, you're like, everyone else gets it in December, but you all get it in June, you can have those products on our site and be sending them to your backers without needing to make it live.
Absolutely. Do you have any other comments on the complimentary copy tool? We got 2 more to go. We're almost there.
I used it for my Kickstarter and I loved it. That's
Yay.
My only comment.
Awesome. Good. All right. So analyze marketing sources. Did you know, Adriel, that you can put a fun code at the end of your URL so you can track?
I did not. I literally didn't. This is great.
Literally? Okay, yeah. So
like serious, I didn't know about this tool.
Surprise! Adriel's learning too. So one of the things we have are marketing sources. Marketing sources is awesome because what you can do is if you're like, I want to see how many people click through this on Twitter, or I want to track this information, you can absolutely track it. And the other thing that's nice too is it'll break down essentially how your codes are going to look. Because if you say have a affiliate link and you also want to track it, you can do that. I'm not going to run the report because it's going to take a long time. But what is nice though is you can say, hey, okay, so for my first edition of my RPG, I want to see like how many people are clicking through like on Twitter, but also on my affiliate link. It'll generate and it'll show you the SRC code. So whatever the code is that you want, you could say Meredith's Great 1, SRC equals Meredith is great. 1.
Meredith is great. 100%.
Thanks, Adriel. I appreciate it. I'm very flattered. But if I wanted to say that, I can pull that. It'll specifically state that. It'll say this. You'll also see SRC codes as well that are, let me actually pull those up. We have them in the publisher knowledge base. But go ahead.
While Meredith is doing that, I want to answer a question you might have. I don't know if you have it, but you might. You might be like, why is that tool useful and important? Because you need to know where you're getting the most response to the effort that you're putting in. Marketing is about, in part, understanding your audience, understanding where your audience is. And this helps you know where your audience is and what things are getting the most reaction. And that helps you make choices about marketing as you move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Let's see. All right. So SRC codes, these are from us. So if you see DOTD, that's deal of the day. Like, so we have this kind of list down there. If you're like, what are these? This is where they're from. Because we use them too. We use them on our social media. We use them in our newsletter. We use them all around site as well. So you can kind of see where people are seeing your stuff, which I think is pretty rad, personally.
It's real cool.
Do you have any other comments about the marketing sources? Because we're one more page. One more.
I'm literally going to like start using that for my non-day job stuff. That's amazing. I'm so glad that I got to see it and that you all got to see it. Okay, next tool.
Manage publisher appearance page. So you can edit how your publisher page looks here. It is very awesome. You can put graphics. You can put all sorts of information on there. It's the first thing that's going to show up when you go to your publisher page. I believe Goodman Games has a good one. I'll have to go check. And that's also a good thing too, because everyone, you want your stuff to stick out. Yeah, Goodman, did you? Goodman thought they were going to be.
But I really like their bundle graphics. When making a bundle, don't forget, you can make an awesome graphic just for that bundle, and you should.
So this is so AEW Games. So this is pretty simplistic. They just did text, but this is what people are going to see first. So you can put all sorts of information in there, which is good. It's good to have that because that's what you want people to see. You can kind of explain, like who you are, like what you do and things like that. So that's important. That's where the managed publisher page appearance is from. So, which is awesome. And that
comes that's part of building your identity as a publisher. Maybe you're a designer who publishes your own games. Maybe you're a publisher who publishes your own games and others. You want people to know what kind of games they can expect from you. And using the Manage Publisher Page Appearance tool is going to help you do that. It's going to help you build your brand and give your customers confidence in what they're getting from you.
Mm-hmm.
Because people do, they're super brand loyal when it comes to things they like. That's just how humans work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wanted to show off our charity list because we did have a question that Lysa answered so wonderfully, which I really, really appreciate. Boop. Oh, that's not it. We do have charities available. We can do an entire stream about this. And when we do, we will definitely have Lysa on for that because Lysa is pro on the charity. We are going to be expanding our charity list in 2021. Lysa's heading that. So I'm very, very excited. But we do have a couple charities that we do currently, like Feeding America, Doctors Without Borders. I'm, of course, missing all of them. Oh, goodness.
But check out the link that Meredith was on.
Yeah.
You can go see all these charities.
Here. It's DriveThruRPG.com or your definition of choice. and then /RPG_charity.php. You also can Google it by just saying DriveThruRPG charity. That's how I get to it. So secrets from the background. But yeah, so that is something that we do. And we have a lot of times where publishers will come to us like when there are major events and things like that. We'll say, hey, we want to raise money for X. And we're like, cool. And we, as a company, also in the past, we've done bundles for a lot of different charities as well. So, yeah.
We have a question.
Yes.
Do discount codes sent through the customer email tool have a source tag that can be reported on for conversions? So what we were talking about earlier, if you don't know, conversions means like, hey, that link that had all those neat sources, how many people clicked it is conversions.
In terms of attaching it, I'd have to check. So I will look into that because I have never had to do that. Because you can put it obviously in the description by saying click here and then put like drivethrurpg.com / whatever the discount is, and then the SRC code. You can do it that way. But the actual input, I will definitely check on. So we will see. It's a really good question.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We had some really good questions today, which is really, really awesome. Yeah. So I think the main pull away here is if you are not using your promotion tools, definitely look into using them. If you're just starting out, like I said, there's ways that you can promote without using publisher promotion points. We offer a ton, and there's even more stuff too that is not listed here that we'll go over. Hopefully, I'm trying to get Scott Holton, our marketing expert, who could talk all day about pricing, about everything under the sun. He's very, very smart. So I'm cross my fingers that maybe we can get him on to talk about more marketing because he's experienced it. And also that's what he does is he can pull down data and look at the information of like what sells and what doesn't sell as well, which is good. So
Scott is an awesome boss and knows a lot of things. Yes. So I will be helping Meredith to convince him to be on stream.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. We'd love to have him. But yeah. All right. So I think that's everything. Of course, if you have any questions, you can always hit us up through email or on Twitter or on our Discord, which boom, check out our publisher Discords right there. You can join in and ask questions. We're more than happy to help. And our publishers are more than happy to help. Everyone is very, very helpful there, which is really awesome. And so, or ask if you're watching this on YouTube, definitely ask us the questions below and we'll get to it. So all good stuff. So, all right. One thing that's super that I definitely wanted to bring up for next week, Lysa, our powerhouse, is doing Learn to Play, in which our OneBookShelf, our company, essentially learns to play a game together, and it'll be mission accomplished from Jeff Stormer. And
yes, Jeff Stormer.
I saw Stormer, and for some reason the R and the O switch. I'm like Stormer from Jeff Stormer. And then after that, Lysa will be doing DM's Guild Community Jam. This time it is Editor Jam. The first one was a super awesome success. So if you are looking to get on Dungeon Masters Guild, highly recommend checking that out. And then on Christmas Eve, there will be a special story time of reading from Drive-Thru Fiction. So definitely check it out. And I think those are the main highlights. Wanted to thank Lysa again for being an awesome moderator and wizard tech. And Jack, if Jack showed up as well. And Adriel, where can people find you?
People can find me by emailing the publisher email address. It goes to my inbox.
If you just want to talk to them, you just need to click that link.
You just send me an email and I'll get it. But you can also find me as a human person on Twitter @ReindeerB. Meredith, where can people find you?
Oh, goodness. So you can find me on Twitter @Meredith Gerber. You can find me on Instagram @Meredith A. Gerber. And you can, for my personal stuff, if you like photography, graphic design, art direction, website design, you can look at that at meredithgerber.com. And also I'm in the
Meredith is
Discord.
awesome.
Oh, Adriel, stop. You're awesome.
But you are. And you're good
You
at what you do.
are.
So
Stop.
yeah.
You're the best. Okay. So, and then also follow us over on Twitter at DriveThruRPG to see all the deals of the day and our sales and our big announcements. And I think that is everything. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on your lunch break to talk about marketing. We will be back next month with a new topic. So keep it watched on our social media, and we will see all of you soon. Bye.